Hey guys, I know, like, I just woke up, I'm not wearing makeup and stuff, my hair's not brushed, whatever, but I have to tell this dream I had, because it was just the most insane, stressful, scary kind of dream. Um, no, I just woke up from, like, sleep, because I fell back to sleep after I woke up from the dream. But, it's basically, there was some sort of like field or a battlefield, okay? And I'm assuming a lot of what we were doing was some sort of VR game type thing. Okay, so there was a girl, one of my friends, and her phone I found in the snow and all this weird stuff. There was all this stuff we were finding in the snow. There was all this toxic, I don't know what was going on. It was really weird. It was like this battlefield, and there was this VR game that I was playing. And, so I've been playing a lot of Mario games. Okay, this was like a tank. I'll get into the Mario stuff. This was like a tank-based game or something. And in order to do one of the missions, we had to blow something up in this tank. And when I say we, there were like a bunch of my friends. I honestly can't remember who they were right now. So we were in this giant tank thing, and somehow everything got warped, and suddenly, like, there were pictures, like, people's arms were just, like, really long, like, in the pictures, like, everything was distorted, and their faces were all, like, giant eyes and, like, really distorted, and it was, like, Luigi and, like, Princess Peach, were, like, really distorted, and everything was, like, really messed up, and somebody had, like, hit a switch in this VR, and it was, like, in Google, it was, like, in our browser. And in this game, they were, like, controlling us. Like, somebody was, like, controlling us, and looking at it made us go more crazy. Okay, like, looking at the screens, looking at anything made us more crazy. But it was, like, we couldn't escape it. It was, like, it was not, like, we couldn't just... So it was, like, looking at it made us go more crazy, so we couldn't go online. And in the meantime, it was... But it was, like, affecting us in the real world as well. Like, we were seeing things, and we were seeing, like, really weird, and, like, our clothes, and like, we couldn't, I was scared to, like, wear certain clothes. It was just so weird. And, like, I had a friend of mine who was there, and that was weird. And, she was, like, there playing a game with me and, like, another kid I used to know, and I don't really remember who all was there, but it was like this big room. It wasn't any room I knew, but it was just really weird, and it was like just this really intense VR thing, and and like everybody's faces was like getting distorted, and so we had like Mario, Luigi, and like and the VR, and then at one point, so it was like we're supposed to be able to do this regular old mission that we had done. It was like we were like supposed to have done it earlier, but if you did it now, like something that had happened, some bad or something that had happened had changed, and like something took over the infrastructure. I can't really explain it very well. It was just this like it was like the most panic-inducing feeling. Nothing was sane. Like I felt like I was tripping, and the next thing that I sort of remember was it was like and in order to continue to play the game, and looking at screens and stuff made it more crazy. But I remember somebody handed me, I don't remember who it was, a controller, and there was like a 2D Mario game that was like somehow advancing the game we'd been playing, which doesn't make sense because that was not the same thing as the VR game we'd been playing. But it was like a New Super Mario Brothers game, like New Super Mario Brothers U or something. Okay, and it's like, oh, you can just play this level. Look, it's like normal, and I beat that level, and then I beat the next level, and then the third level. Boom! Everything got distorted again. Like everything just looked completely big eyes, like they're all like dripping, like features and like groovy arms and like everything was like, and like we weren't ourselves. It just happened like boom, and it was terrifying. I don't really know. And then there was a lot more to it, but I honestly can't remember. And we were trying to snap out of it, but we kept trying to snap out of it and go back into the real world. And then I was freaked out because I couldn't go online again because it was like this thing had taken over online and like would take over our brains if I was online. I'm like, I'm gonna use my other Google account to get in and try to like fix it. And it was just like this super weird. But it felt very, very real. Like, it wasn't like, oh, there's a glitch in the game. Like, it felt like it was affecting my mind. And the rest of us all looked insane. And, like, the more insane we got, the more crazy we looked. I was just insane. So, I just woke, like, I woke up. I don't really remember, like, there wasn't a solid conclusion. I just woke up, was freaked out, wanted to tell this. I have no idea what time it was, and I just fell back asleep. So, I have no idea what happened. But, yeah, that was the dream. And while I'm making this video, I will tell one from the other night that I had, that was also really disturbing, but not as scary, not as, like, heart-pounding. This dream was very heart-pounding, but the one I had the other night was very much, unsettling. So, I'll tell about this one. I told this one on Facebook. So I have a, homeschool co-op. Okay. And, it's in, like, an old church, like, where it is. But in my dream, it was, like, in part of this mall. This really giant mall. It was, like, a certain, like, little part of it. And, so I had a class in the morning, because, like, my co-op classes are starting back really soon, so I guess I was, like, stressed about it. Anyway, I had, like, a class. And then I needed to use, the restroom, and my dad was also with me. And I can't remember, and a bunch of weird stuff was going on. My dad was with me. We were walking around, and I remember at one point I was a little bit lost, and we tried to find a basement. I had to get some sort of badge, because lunch let out, because, like, my friend, like, ruined the class, or, like, let the class, I can't remember what happened exactly. So, and I had to get, like, this badge, and it was, like, the person who was at the counter for the badge was Eugenia Cooney, okay, and, my dad had this, like, Simpsons necklace, okay, and she was asking about the Simpsons necklace. Okay, so I got my badge or whatever, I don't even know why I needed this, but then, the next thing that happened was I ended up, walking around, and it was lunch break, and they were like, pizza, because, like, in the co-op room, they had, like, pizza, that gross, awful pizza they have at my co-op, and, like, not all the food's that bad, like, I like the, pulled pork, and there's some good things, but the pizza's just bad, anyway, so just walking around, and I was just like, pizza, and I'm like, I have to use the restroom, okay, and I had remembered distinctly earlier walking around, and there were restrooms, like, in the co-op area, like, normal mall restrooms, okay, and suddenly, I couldn't find it at all. Walking around the entire mall, I couldn't find it. And, like, we were going farther and farther from the co-op area, and this was a really big mall, okay. It was just, like, really scary, and, like, I am mildly agoraphobic, so, like, that sort of situation for me, like, being inside a mall, being inside a Walmart, that's just always very scary for me, depending on, like, where it is. Like, the bigger the mall, the scarier it is, or, like, Walmart. So it's one thing, like, if you just go to, like, store inside the mall, like, if you're just in Hot Topic or whatever, like, walking around the mall, that's what scares me. But anyway, this particular dream, this particular mall was very scary. So we're getting farther and farther from the place, and we ask someone for the restroom, and they say, okay, there's only one restroom, like, in this area, or whatever. And so we walk up, and first of all, it was near this, like, movie theater. That's how big the mall was. There was, like, a movie theater inside the mall. And second of all, it was a giant indoor mall. And I'm just going to point out the appearance of it. A lot of the kiosks, like, a lot of kiosks and a lot of things just piled up, like, right like products just being sold like right. It was very like cramped, but also very spacious at the same time. I can't really explain that. It was just like my two biggest fears. I don't like cramped spaces. I don't like spacious spaces. It really depends on, as long as it's indoor spaces, I don't like them if they're cramped or spacious. So it's kind of scary. But anyway, so the next thing, so we walk up to this giant like cafeteria. You know, they have like all this produce, all these like vegetables on this table, and then there's like a big room you can go in, and there's a big cafeteria. These people cooking up these big pots of food, and then everybody's eating. It's like a school. It's like not my co-op. It's like other like the giant gross cafeteria, and it's not even gross looking. It just is gross. Like I can't really explain it. Like the giant corporate cafeteria type thing. Like physically giant. Like everything is really big. And then I go in there and they say, here's the women's room. I walk in and there's a room full of people eating, and I have to go to the bathroom on a wooden bench with a bucket underneath in the corner of the room. And everybody sees me because apparently that's the bathroom, which is so not true. Like in real life, if somebody said that was about, I wouldn't have gone. Like in real life, I would have found it. Like I don't even know what's going on. But it was just like, what are you insane? And then we left, or I left. I don't know where my dad ended up at this point. I was all alone at this point, and I had no idea where the co-op was. And I like was walking around and around and around and around and around and around and around. And there was like all these different like dead ends and like these different like Barbies, like all these like pink area like for girls, and then there was like a boys toy area, and then there was like again the movie theater and like a bunch of stores I don't even know, like they weren't like real stores, they were like fake stores that my brain made up. And then I just remember one of the like kiosks and things that were like filling to the brim, like spilling out the door. There was a one of the stores, there was something they were selling where they had like footage of my incident, and it was just really, really creepy, and I was so embarrassed, and I just remember walking, and I was like, I'm sure I've been here, this is close to the co-op, right? I remember this store, and no, it just wasn't there, and I just kept walking, couldn't find it, just kept walking, and walking, and walking, and walking, and walking, and walking, and I couldn't find it. And, I couldn't find it anywhere, and I just woke up, I don't know where. And also just say, you know, a lot of times I will have, like, lucid dreams, like, I know I'm dreaming. Like, these two dreams, they felt so real, like, even though one of them was, like, in VR, they felt so real. It was just like, what the heck? It was really scary. But anyway, if you like this video, click like. If you like seeing me suffer, subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for notifications, and, if you have any weird dream experiences, tell me in the comments. So, thanks for watching. Bye.